Assalamualaikum everyone, it's me Abdul Ghafoor, student of Rehan School Online Academy. So today we have a special guest who is ChatGPT. So hello ChatGPT.
Hey there. Great to have you here. How can I help you today?
So I have a question for you. Uh,
Of
as,
course. I'm all ears. What's your question about?
so what does the phrase quiet command suggest about leadership? Can you tell
Ah,
me about this?
absolutely. So, the idea behind a quiet command is that leadership isn't always about being the loudest voice in the room. Instead, it's about having a calm, steady presence. You lead by example, you listen carefully, and you guide others without needing to dominate the conversation. So, the more effective leaders can often create trust and confidence through quiet strength.
Okay, so can you tell me how can someone lead without speaking loudly or giving direct orders?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of it comes down to things like body language, staying calm under pressure, and listening closely to others. Leaders who ask thoughtful questions, offer guidance, and create a sense of safety often influence others way more than just barking orders. So it's really about being intentional with your presence and your actions.
Okay. So the next question is why is silence
Ah,
sometimes more powerful than words?
absolutely. Silence can be really powerful because it gives people space to think, reflect, and actually absorb what's being shared. When you pause, you create this weight behind your words. So when you do speak, people really pay attention. It's a subtle but super effective form of leadership.
Okay, so what qualities are needed for a person to have a quiet command?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, qualities like self confidence, a strong sense of empathy, and emotional intelligence really help. Being a good listener, staying calm under pressure, and being adaptable are all big pieces. Plus, a quiet leader tends to be really observant. They notice what's happening around them before acting.
Can body language show authority? Give some examples about that.
Yeah, definitely. So think of someone who stands tall, shoulders back, and makes eye contact with others. They don't need to wave their hands wildly or interrupt, they just exude calm confidence by their posture. Another example, a leader who takes a slow, steady breath before responding. That kind of pause can carry a lot of weight and show control.
Why do people often respect calm and composed individuals?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Calm, composed individuals give off this sense of stability and trustworthiness. People often feel safer and more confident around them, especially in tense situations. And it's kind of reassuring, like, if this person stays calm, I can stay calm too.
How does listening carefully help in developing quiet command?
Yeah, that's a big one. When you listen carefully, you show people that you value their perspective, which builds trust and respect. Plus, it helps you understand the team better so you can respond more thoughtfully. In a way, that quiet attention makes you a stronger, calmer guide for others.
Can you tell me how can a student show quiet command in a classroom setting?
That's a great question. I think students can use a quiet command by focusing on a few things. For example, they can lower their voice but still be clear, make eye contact, and use pauses to let their words sink in. It shows confidence and it keeps the room focused without needing to shout or dominate.
How does listening carefully help in developing quiet command?
Yeah, definitely. When you listen carefully, you pick up on the needs and concerns of others, so you don't have to rely on being the loudest to get your point across. It also makes people feel heard, and when they feel heard, they tend to trust and follow you more easily, which is key to that quiet leadership style. Guiding others through trust and respect. So one pushes for immediate control, while the other invites collaboration and
Why
long
is
term influence.
self-control important for quiet leadership?
Oh, absolutely. Self control is really at the heart of quiet leadership. When you stay composed, even in stressful situations, you model that behavior for others. It keeps you from reacting emotionally, and it gives you the space to respond thoughtfully and lead by example.
How does how does the experience in
Of course.
developing a quiet command over time?
Yeah, absolutely. It really takes practice. You can start by being more mindful of your tone and pace when you speak, and focus on staying present in the moment, especially in high pressure situations. Over time, as you see people respond positively, that confidence grows and your quiet command strengthens.
Okay, so my next question is, can introvert people be strong leadership? Why or why not?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. Introverts can actually make really strong leaders because they tend to be great listeners, they reflect deeply, and they build strong one on one connections. They often lead with thoughtfulness and a calm, steady presence, which can be really inspiring. So it's not about being loud, it's about being intentional and connecting deeply.
Okay, how does experience help in developing a quiet command over time?
Yeah, experience really plays a big role. As you navigate different situations, you start to understand when to speak up and when to hold back. You learn how your presence impacts the room, and over time, you build trust and credibility. Basically, each experience gives you more confidence in that quiet, steady approach, so it really deepens that command naturally.
Okay, so the session is over now. Allah Hafiz everyone.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm really glad.